It is the non-spoiler review of Creed 3, the Michael B. Jordan directed film, the latest in the Adonis Creed. It is number 3. Thank you for joining me here today on the channel. If you're brand new to the channel, do me a favor, show a little class, will you? Hit that button, subscribe. We got reviews, we got reactions, we got long-form podcasts, we got a whole bunch of stuff going on, and we're almost at 70,000. We hope that you will join us on our journey. All right. So I'm a big Rocky fan, have been all my life. I can watch 5, but it's clearly the worst out of all of them. But other than that, big Rocky fan, and I was thrilled when Creed was announced because not only was I a big Michael B. Jordan fan and watching the continuation, the understanding of what happened to Apollo Creed's legacy, but Ryan Coogler was announced, and I was a big fan of Ryan Coogler from Fruitvale Station. And then watching that movie and what it was able to do, revitalize it, and then tie it together even more so with Creed 2, with the saga of the Drago and Rocky situation and this father and son relationship and all of that played out, and it was a nice way to do 2 movies. So as we get into the 3rd movie and then all the drama surrounding Sylvester Stallone not coming back, I'll start with that. Is it noticeable that Rocky Balboa isn't in this movie? Sometimes, yes. Does it take away from the story of this film? No, it does not. And again, this is someone I've been advocating for the fact that I think that they should have found a way for Stallone to be in this movie one way or another. And there are moments in this movie that you go, well, Rocky definitely would have been there for that. Rocky would have been there for that. And I don't know if it's Erwin Winkler or whatever it might have been, but I'm pretty sure in the trailer there is a picture of Rocky and there's a mention of him in a press conference. None of that's in there. So again, that's about as spoilery as you're going to get, but it's just so you should be aware of it going into it, that there's really not much mentioning of Rocky. And the reason why mostly is, minus the legal stuff with Winkler, is that this is a standalone story for Adonis Creed. It's meant to be, and it delivers on that fact. Michael B. Jordan, what he does is he's really going into this thing that happened to Adonis in his past, and hence why he is now linked with Jonathan Majors' character. And you have this feel, and you see it, of what Damian Anderson does and how in the trailer he comes back and Michael B. Jordan, Adonis Creed, wants to help him out, and he starts to get him involved back again in boxing. You learn their history, and there is, for sure, for people who are fans of Warrior with Tom Hardy, that storyline certainly blends its way into this at certain times. The relationship between Michael B. Jordan, Adonis Creed, and his daughter is also fantastic, and I like the way that they kind of played off of the angle of when she was born in the last one, and she's deaf, and he's got to use sign language to communicate with her. Tessa Thompson also is a tremendous actress. The relationship with both Bianca and Adonis Creed carries over. And there's a lot of those performances, but it's really, once again, I feel like I just said this when I said it about Jonathan Majors in Ant-Man Quantumania. This guy is a megastar. He's a superstar, and he brings such a level of intensity, and you understand there's something about him. He's just electric when he speaks, and there's something about Damian Anderson that's terrifying because of what he's been through. Now, is it all because of is the writing that good on the character? I think it's more so that it's Jonathan Majors bringing this character alive. The writing's fine inside of this. I do think that there are certain times, and what I will tell you about, was a big boxing fan for a very long time. So one of the things, and this is probably going to aggravate me more than it's going to aggravate you, but the ranking system inside of this and how title matches come to be and how those types of things happen, that bothered me. I was like, well, they could have probably done this a different way to get this there. But in the long run, I was like, okay, fine. There are a couple emotional moments that I said, again, whether Rocky should have been there at that point, or whether it was going to be something that was really intense at one moment, but then seems to almost be forgotten. That happens a couple of times as well. The fighting style and the directing of overall what Michael B. Jordan does in this movie is fantastic. The fights are intense. The fights, you feel like you're in the ring with every fight that happens in here. In the start of the movie, the middle of the movie, every time there's a boxing match, you're right in there. They take a swing at a particular device in the final fight that I'm curious how people are going to feel. And I think that it's completely I understand why they took this shot. I understand why they went this particular area. I think I might have went on just a little too long, but it didn't take away from the overall fight and the relationship that really builds throughout, and that is that Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors together, you can't take your eyes off them when they're on screen. And you can also tell from the directing inside of this movie of how much Michael B. Jordan is a student of Ryan Coogler. You see a lot of Ryan Cooglerisms inside of this in the way that he films certain things, the way that he shoots dialogue. You can see that inside of this film, and I think that that's what Michael B. Jordan does. I think that it's a good continuation of the story. I do think that there are a couple of times that maybe the character building and the emotional levels could have held a little longer, and I think you could have built off certain moments, but most of all, I think this was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. It's you do feel like you're watching. I mean, the fights are intense. The fights are why you go. Regardless of, I think that maybe they could have gotten to some of the fights a little in a different way. Who cares? Overall, I'm going to say that it is a 4 out of 5 for sure. And I will also say this. They got to get Sly back for the next one, though, if they're going to do another one, which I think this was a standalone. It needed to be a standalone. I get why they made it a standalone. And I understand that if they needed to tell the story without Rocky, he's with his kid, he's doing those things. I get it. Bring him back for the next one, at least hopefully. But what do you guys think? Do you want to see this movie? Do you think that it's going to be something you could see without Sly? Are you excited to see it? Did you like Creed 1 and Creed 2? Is this one of your more anticipated films? And do you think Jonathan Majors is as big of a movie star as I think he is? All right. And obviously, subscribe. Do that. Hit that button. Get us to 70. We're almost there. Thanks, guys, for joining us on the non-spoiler review of Creed 3. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace.